Water.
Earth.
Fire.
It has been almost 50 years since the Fire Nation attacked and threw the world out of balance. The Avatar has disappeared, and many have lost hope of peace. And fighting secretly in the shadow to restore harmony and balance. This is the Saga of the White Lotus.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Avatar, Saga of the White Lotus. I'm joined by my wonderful players here. We are playing Avatar Legends, the new role-playing TTRPG brought to you by Magpie Games. We are not affiliated or sponsored by, but the TTRPG was written and released through their Kickstarter. So yeah, if you would like to play, their quick start guide is available on magpiegames.com, so you can play in the Avatar world as well. And I believe they've got back orders up and ready to go, so you can order if you missed the Kickstarter now. So yeah, last we left off, our group of friends, found themselves in the Earth Kingdom, in a town. It was a fishing village, and it has currently been detained by the Fire Nation. There are Fire Nation ships in the port kind of shutting down the town from being able to do business. And they went up to the estate to find the person in charge, spoke with her, and unfortunately for our good friends, not Derek and Benny, that was last night, Rue and Michi, the wanted posters have caught up with them. And she implied that she is going to use them for leverage to free up the port. She's going to turn them in to the Fire Nation so that they can continue fishing business. So that's where we're going to pick up this episode. Zola and Shay were off talking with another person, and they have no idea that this is going down in the estate. So as the two goons stepped forward into the room and they implied that they were going to use you for leverage, we're going to zoom back to, and we're going to start with tonight Shay and Zola as they're heading back from their conversation with the NPC. I don't remember his name.
Neither do I. It's okay, Joe. I have it written down somewhere.
He had like 3 different names, so
Phobo
Yeah.
Phobo.
and Faye,
They
also
were the
known as
couple.
Boku and Kyo.
Yeah, they had like 600 names.
You originally met them on the way out of town. They presented themselves to
Yes.
you as one name. You had done some research and found out that they were leaving town under the guise of different names. You went to go talk to them. It went pretty good, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that conversation went good.
Yeah, they just refused to come help us, so it's all good.
So yeah, you're returning back to town the same way you went, I assume, back to the village, over the little rock wall that kind of outlines the border of the town.
We had the big creature thing.
You had Tapu with you, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're riding Tapu.
Yeah.
And how long has it been? Like, is it supposed to be around our meeting time of when?
By the time you
should be
get,
meeting?
yeah, you had to go catch up with them, find them in the camp area that they made, and then come all the way back. So it's probably about a little bit after dinner time.
Okay, so we're getting close to curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the boys?
I don't know. I would have thought that they would have been here maybe before we were.
think something would have happened to them?
Knowing those two, probably.
Alright.
Maybe we go back into town.
We're getting pretty close to curfew. I don't want to have to fight the whole city to get out of here before that general shows up.
I know.
We don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, I mean, we have to find them. I don't want to have to sneak in after curfew either.
Yeah. So I motion Tapu to go back to the estate.
Tapu takes you back to the estate excitedly, and instead of taking you to the front door to drop you off, Tapu takes an immediate right-hand turn and heads straight for the stables, and then begins to start eating.
It's like Rue doesn't feed this poor boy.
We're just both very food motivated.
I will
get-
slide off a Tapu
yeah,
and vigorously scratch the neck and just be like,
I won't
"You're
do
just a
that.
hungry boy."
There is a loud thud as Tapu just kind of like rolls over and exposes his belly, his like fox-like eggs, kind of legs, not eggs, legs.
Eggs. His fox-like eggs.
His fox-like legs sticking up in the air, and at the same time, there's a big mound of hay that he's just munching on.
I rub the belly.
I'm
Background.
gonna look like, just if we're inside the stable, I want to like look out to see if anything has changed with like the people in this area.
The people there's a large crowd of people who are making their way towards and into the estate. You can tell that it is getting very close to curfew time as you look out over the town, because remember the estate stands on top of the like big mountain area overlooking the rest of the town. You can see that people are kind of starting to dissipate, leave the roads. Well, hello and thank you.
What?
I don't know. And
Got a zombie.
a thing went off.
Hello and welcome,
It didn't-
zombie.
Didn't tell me what it was for.
Ah, great. I do not need a zombie now.
I don't know if that was a follow or a donation or what.
If it was a donation, thank you.
Usually the thing comes up in the mini feed and says, this was what happened. I don't see that, so I'm not sure. Thank you for whatever that was.
Yes, thank you.
Whether that was a follow, a donation. If it's a donation, we should probably pull that up, though, actually. I don't know. We don't do
We're not a
donations
charity.
specifically for this. Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you if that was a donation.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Whatever that
Yeah.
was, thank you.
And it's time to hydrate.
I just want to make sure, like, I want to see if I can see the boys coming in or anything. Lance, that is not hydrating. That is fucking wine.
It is liquid and it is going inside of me.
You do not see
Can
the
we not?
boys anywhere outside.
Cool. I don't like this, so maybe we sneak in.
We should be able to just blend among the crowd and we'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but they were going to talk to the head honcho. So let's blend in with the crowd up until we can't anymore.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna blend in with the crowd, Joe, going towards the estate. And when we get to a point where they're turning like into the barracks, I would like to try and find like a place to like sneak around and keep an eye on for the boys, basically,
Okay.
from a hidden spot.
I'll kind of re-describe the layout of the estate here because it has been a while since we played.
Yeah.
So there's up on top of the I call it a mountain. It's kind of more of like a hit, like a small molehill on top of the village. The estate sits, and there's a small, like waist-high rock stone fence that surrounds the estate. You are currently inside that stone fence in the stables, which is on the grounds of the estate. The estate itself is a one building. It's like a mansion, and the people, the barracks, are in the main foyer and the living room of this mansion. It's been turned into a makeshift like refugee shelter. that the people are kind of staying on the ground floor of the mansion. And if you remember, there's this, as you come in, the mansion, or the barracks area, the living room that has been turned into a barracks, is on the left-hand side of the door as you come in, and then there's a wrap-around staircase. It's not spiral, it goes up one flight and kind of wraps around and goes up to the loft of the second floor of the mansion. And I do think that you did meet, if not, you know that upstairs area is where the owners of the mansion, all their bedrooms and stuff are at. None of the refugees are allowed to go up the stairs. There's not like guards, but the estate has like an unofficial mercenary type situation. They're guards, but they're not like city guards. They're not officials. They're just hired muscle.
I just want to find a little place for me to watch.
You'd easily be able to park yourself like right on the inside of the door and watch people come in.
Okay.
There's a flood of people coming in.
I don't want to watch people coming in. I'm watching like where the stairs are and all of that. That's where I want to watch, is because I know that they went to talk to the owner, which would tell me that they're probably upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, you would definitely be able to make that conclusion because you know that that's where they stay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of watching the stair area, not the people that are coming in. Gotcha.
Yes.
You stand there for a couple minutes as people flood through the door and kind of find their places in the living room, and there's no, other than the hired muscle that you can obviously see are earthbenders walking back and forth along the upstairs, kind of keeping an eye, because it's kind of like a loft situation where there's a banister and they can kind of see down to the first floor, and there's like 2 guards posted on the bottom of the stairs to keep people from going up the stairs. There's no activity other than that.
Okay. I'm going to keep an eye out because I want to make sure that, if I see the boys, I know they're okay, or if there's a commotion that starts happening, I can run and take care of some stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, you watch for a little bit longer, and you see no sign of activity.
Okay.
What are you doing, Shay?
I am kind of looking through the crowd at the ground level to see if I see them. And if I don't, then I'm going to go kind of stand near, but not right next to oh my god.
Zola.
I want to say thank you, Zola. I'm trying to remember this character's name.
Apparently we're still in spirit mode.
I am still in spirit mode. It was a long night. Yeah, I'm gonna go stand next to Zola, but like nearby, just not next to, where I can keep an eye on her too. So if somebody grabs her, I can see that. But I still think I'm safe for right now.
Okay. After maybe 15 minutes, the front doors to the mansion begin to close as the last of the refugees come in. And Shay, you see this like ruffling underneath the shawl of Zola. Zola, you feel, I don't remember, what is your fire ferret's name? Soot. Yes. You feel Soot get restless, pop out, crawl down your
I try to grab him.
crawl down your leg, and then shoot up the stairs unnoticed.
No, I try to grab him before he does any of that.
I will have you roll a rely on your skills and training, I guess.
I mean, I've trained this bitch. What is that, Joe?
That is focus.
Thank you.
I should highlight those.
I got a 6.
Lance has a really awesome cheat sheet. I did not copy that.
So if I fail, do I get anything?
No, you mark an experience, and you are unable to catch. the fire ferret. Soot.
Well, guess what, guys? I got to level up now because I failed.
Do you mark an experience or do you mark a fatigue or condition? Because you only do the growth if after at the end of the stream questions.
Oh, it is fatigue. I'm sorry. That was.
Sorry, Zola.
Yeah, the mark experience is from Monster of the Week. This you mark fatigue.
That's great. I have 2 fatigue
You can clear conditions.
I don't have time for that.
Zola, you only have 1 because you were writing on Tapu. And if you write on my
Tapu
animal
clears your
companion,
fatigue, yep.
it clears your fatigue.
Okay, I've highlighted those, so next time you ask me, I should be able to see those a little
Did
better.
I see this ferret since I was trying to watch her as well?
Oh yeah, you saw the ruffling, and then you saw the head pop up, crawl down, and then shoot. And the guards didn't even seem to notice the fire ferret. It stealthily, just very quickly, and then up the steps, like does the whole groundhog, prairie dog thing.
Meerkat.
Stands up, yeah, meerkat, and then looks back at you guys, and then hops along the staircase.
Son of a bitch!
God
God damn!
damn. We are. Let's go.
I guess we followed the ding dang ferret. I'm gonna try. Are the guards at the stairs?
There are 2 guards at the stairs, and you see as you've been watching, because you've been watching the whole area up here. There are 3 guards that are on this like routine patrol. They'll stop, watch the refugees down in the living room, then continue on their patrol. And you know there's probably about a minute gap between their rotation.
Can you? I look at Shay and go, can you throw like a stone away so that we can get up the stairs?
Yeah. I'm going to chuck a rock. If I can, this is what I'm going to try to do. Up over the little balcony area, down the hallway. So that it is away from the immediate staircase so we can go up it and go the opposite direction.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're trying to up and over to make them climb up the stairs and disappear in the hallway.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Without being seen by them.
Okay.
Specifically.
I'm gonna have you do a rely on your skills and training. That's a focus roll, because this is a. Are you trying to bend it, or are you just trying to chuck it in a certain area?
Both.
Okay.
The bend will give it the momentum that it needs.
Gotcha. So you're kind of like throwing the rock up and then earth bending it to give it like that curve, like in Wanted. Curve the bullet.
Okay, you said that was a focus?
Yes.
It's going to be a fatigue. Because I got 2 1s and I have a -1.
Oh no.
I didn't even throw the rock, Joe. I just
Thought about it.
I thought about throwing the rock, okay? Apparently I cannot do that for you, Azola. I'm too stressed out by the whole situation.
All right.
The guard on the left hand of the staircase watches you pick up a rock, and you see that guard, like, you lock eyes, and the guard is just like waiting for you to do something and has that stare like,
I dare you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the rock in my pocket. I found the rock. I'm putting it in my pocket.
He goes back to just keeping an eye on things.
I'm
You're
gonna
good at talking to people. Why don't you just talk to them?
Sure. What would you like me to say? Have you seen our friends?
That, or maybe
I could.
maybe we have a message for the leader of the house
Okay. Yeah.
about the general that's coming. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
For
I'll
her
go.
ears only. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I'll go walk up to the guards.
They acknowledge your approach,
Hello. I have a message for the leader of the house.
Oh yeah, of course. Give us the message and we'll deliver it.
It's supposed to be for her ears only.
On whose authority?
It's about General Dao.
I would like you to roll a trick roll, which is a creativity roll.
I'm good at those, so hopefully I'm good at those.
I'm behind her, and if they ask Joe, I'm
10.
I'm her escort because I'm an earthbender.
You got a 10?
Yes.
Okay, so you get to pick 2. They stumble, take +1 forward to acting against them. They act foolishly, the GM tells you what additional opportunity they give you, or they overcommit and they are deceived for some time. So you get to pick 2 of those.
I feel like they overcommit and they're deceived by me. Because why would a sweet girl like me lie? And then, what was the other ones? I'm sorry.
You can take a +1 forward to acting against them.
Yes, I want that.
Or they act foolish, which means the GM tells you what additional opportunity they give you.
I think I want +1 going forward against them, because if I have to fight them, that'll help me.
Okay. Yeah, they, oh, yes, of course. And they step aside, leaving the staircase wide open.
Okay, I go up the stairs and try to find Soot.
So the 2 of you walk up the stairs, and as you get to the top of the staircase landing, you look to the left, which there are 2 doors on your left, on the right-hand side of the, like, little loft hallway. Soot is standing, like, half and half in one of the door, does the meerkat thing again, looks back at you. You swear you can see him smirk
This little bitch.
as he disappears behind the door. Bow.
I keep following him.
You walk down the hallway, and you can see over the loft at this point, and you can hear the footsteps behind you of the guard that's coming on that rotation. You've probably got about 30 seconds until that guard comes to within visual sight of where you guys are at.
I pull Shay into the room with me.
Just pull her into the room and shut the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Shay, you get pulled into the room, and since Zola is kind of facing out, looking over the loft to pull you into the room, you get pulled in, and as you get pulled into the room, there's a guard kind of just like sitting at the desk, and he just looks up, like, confusedly.
Oh.
This is not the correct room.
Oh, shoot.
Would you direct us to the correct room for the mistress of the house? We are supposed to deliver her a message about General
Dao.
I almost said something else.
Okay. I'm going to give you the option of rolling a plead or a trick. Plead is based on harmony, and trick is based on creativity.
We're going to go with trick, because that's a +1.
Okay.
That is so much better. 12.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you get to pick 2, so he can either take +1 against him going forward. The GM tells you what additional opportunity he gives you, or there's 2. You get 2 options, or the third option is they are deceived for some time.
Deceived for some time because I'm 5'1", and this little tiny thing. So who's gonna think I'm a liar? And
That's our thing. The girls are like, who's gonna think I'm a liar?
right. And the second one you said, the GM has to tell me how he's
Okay.
fumbled.
Okay. Oh yes, of course. This is her office. She's down in the basement. And he stands up and turns around and heads towards a bookcase and pulls on one of the books, and it opens up a secret door with a staircase down. Just, please go ahead.
Do I see Soot?
Soot sneaks down and down the staircase.
Yeah, start following Soot down.
Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. This message is very important.
Of course, we're all very excited to see General Dao. This exchange is going to be so great. We'll finally get back out on the sea.
Exchange?
Yeah, the exchange. Aren't you represent General Dow, right?
Yes, we do. Of course we know of the exchange.
Great. Please, oh shit, what was the lady's name? I can't even remember. Please tell the lady of the estate
Oopsies.
that I let you through.
Of course.
And what's your name so I can tell her?
Bob.
Guard number 5.
Bob.
Guard
Joe
number
should
5.
Joe should know that he should have like
I have
generic
them. I just don't remember where they're at. There they
names.
are. This one is Bin.
Ben?
Bin.
Ben.
Binh. Bin.
Ah, okay. All right.
And let us down here so that we can talk to you. This is gonna be perfect. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yeah. As we're walking down, I'm gonna turn to Shay and go, I think our buddies got captured.
I can bust through some walls.
I mean, I could set this place on fire. Like,
Not while we're in it.
I mean, it's fine.
Maybe for you.
Maybe for all of us, it's fine. I'm not saying right now. We're gonna go see what's happening, and then if it gets too bad, you know.
Okay. Since I'm not wanted by the Fire Nation that I know
Yet.
of yet, why don't I pretend to have found you and bringing you to her?
Sure.
And that Ben let us down here knowing that this is what we were doing.
That's true. It's not like Ben can give them a message that we lied to him. Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
So you two begin to descend the staircase into the
Fucking
basement.
sod.
You can hear sweat's pitter patter down the steps. And we cut into a cell in the basement. It is a earthen cell with metal iron bar bracers. It's a like 20 by 30, or no, it'd be like a rectangle, so about 20 by 40 foot cell. There's not a whole lot in here. It's kind of, there's scattered hay in here. There's a bucket of water and then an empty bucket, and that's about it. There's no windows in this cell. The only thing that you two can see is about 10 feet away from the iron bars, the edge of the hall that goes both to the left and to the right. You can see that for about 10 feet. Although you were taken down here, you weren't blindfolded, so that you know to the right, you goes past the little guard area where there's a table and a couple guards, and then there's a office room with a closed door. You couldn't see behind the door, but there's a closed door on the other side of that table, and then the staircase that goes up. If you go left, you haven't went that way, so you have no idea what is further down the hall that way.
Rue is kicking at the bars, pissed off.
Yeah, Michi like went and kind of like shook at the bars and was like, hey, pulling his usual shtick, but if nobody comes, he's gonna look around and try and like, maybe there's like a hole. Maybe somebody was trying to get out with like a spoon. Do you have a spoon on you? We could like dig our way out.
Oh yeah, let me break out my travel cutlery and we can just do that.
I mean,
I don't have a spoon, Michi.
no. Well, then why'd you suggest it?
When we get out of here, we're gonna have a talk about sarcasm.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we can get the guards close enough. I can use the water, knock them out. That's all I've got.
Maybe. One of us could pretend that we're like dying. Would that get them over here? Or something we could tell them we have information?
What information do we have?
We don't have to have any information. We could just tell them.
Yeah, but that would just bring one guard over, and we need all of them to come over.
Well, if we get one over here and then you do the whole beat them up thing and then the rest of them come over.
I mean, that might work.
What's the plan?
At this point, the two of you hear what sounds like a kerfluffle to the right, where the guard station is at. It sounds like a chair has collapsed or fallen, and you see, what the, holy shit, what was that? And then you hear pitter-pattering in the darkness.
I think both Rue and Michi just kind of pressed their faces up against the bars, like, what?
And about 30 seconds later, Soot prances up to the bars and meerkats it up, and then looks up at you two sniffing in the air.
Hey, Soot.
Buddy, what? Do I see like bodies down the hall? What?
Did Soot just take out all the guards? Did he make our job easy?
You can't really see far enough down the hall. You can see about 10 feet, and then your point of view is cut out from the bars. But you heard that ruckus.
Can you go find us a key?
So it kind of looks backwards and then looks, and then like tries to pull himself through the bars, but can't make it through.
No. Key. Go get a key.
So it, and then disappears into the darkness.
I'm gonna bring back like a pebble.
A minute later, comes back with a slice of cheese.
Not cheese, key.
That's really good though, Soot. Good job.
Oh my gosh.
Drops the cheese on the floor. There are so many scenes in movies that are popping into my head right now. Most recently, the Guardians of the Galaxy one with what's his name?
With Groot.
Fruit.
Yeah, Groot.
Baby Groot.
Suit Groot.
This also happened in Avatar before.
Oh yeah, with the
Yeah.
saber-toothed moose lion cub. That's right.
As well as going back a ways in The Mask when Jim Carrey's in jail and he's like, go get the keys, and Milo brings back the cheese.
Not just with the moose thing, it also happened with the flying lemur whenever they needed water when they were
Oh
sick.
yeah.
Somebody good.
Water.
So yeah,
Apparently waterbenders are just not really good with talking to animals.
Apparently not.
drops the cheese on the floor. At this point, back to the ladies. You come down to the bottom of the steps, and about 10 feet in front of you, there's an alcove to the right of you, and a little tinier alcove with a door on the left. Sorry, microphone stand. In the alcove on the right, you see a chair knocked down and an unconscious guard laying on the floor. Keys right next to him.
I will.
Along the hallway, you can tell this is definitely some sort of dungeon or prison setup. This is not a pleasant place to be.
Okay.
Are there any more guards in the room?
You don't see any. You can see that the
Perfect.
hall continues down for maybe 100 feet. It's dark on the other end, but it looks like there's a metal door on the far end,
Okay.
like a metal door. You can see along the left-hand side there are rows and rows of prison cells. You can see the iron bars.
I'm gonna go for the keys.
Yeah, you pick up the keys. The guard's still
Who's
unconscious.
doing that? I'm looking through the cells that I can see.
Okay. There are 3 cells, and when you get to about the middle one, the second cell, you know there's another cell past there, but when you get to the second cell, Rue and Michi, your friend Shay, steps into the light, and you have been reunited.
Happened.
We can totally explain this. The mistress is a
That is not an explanation. That is
I feel like that's a pretty good explanation. I walk up.
Well, she knew that we were wanted. So
Well, that's good to know because that also means that she probably knows I'm wanted.
oh, and there's this whole thing with General Dow.
yeah. She lured him here, or she
Oh.
wanted him here
Okay.
because she has a plan to destroy him, or that was her plan originally, and we offered to
Help?
remove the ships or stop him from coming. And she said, I can't let you do that. And then pulled out a wanted poster, and then her Goonies came in, and I'm mad.
We thought it was a great deal, but she had other plans.
It's, you know what? I think we've overstayed our welcome here. I think it's time we leave. And I unlock the cell.
Yeah, you unlock the cell. The door
Bruce taking
swings
that bucket
open,
of water with him.
and Michi Soot runs up and wraps around your leg, crawls up and like wraps around like a scarf around your neck.
Oh my gosh, I missed you so much. Did he get his cheese?
No, the cheese is on the
Grab
floor.
him.
He dropped it.
Okay, I'm gonna get the cheese and offer it to him. He's such a good boy. He tried.
It's a very loud munch, or not like a loud wet munching as he
Gross.
It's like right here.
eats the cheese right in your ear.
What? Okay. We should get out of here as quickly as possible.
Yep. Let's get the fuck out.
Should we go
How
out
are we
the
going to get
front,
out?
or should we?
Because
Yeah.
we're pretty far underground. I can't just earthbend us to the surface here. We're gonna have
Well-
to fight some guards.
We can go through that door. We can fight the one guard that we know is upstairs.
And then the two at the bottom of the stairs.
Sure.
At this
All right,
point,
let's do it.
you hear a door open where you came from. Not the iron door. It's definitely not iron. This is a wooden door. The one that you had passed on your left as you came to the cell.
Okay.
You hear footsteps approaching.
Go to the iron door, I guess.
If it's like one person, we can handle it. Come on.
Fine. Okay. I guess
Hey,
we'll
hey,
handle it.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Get in the cell.
We get in the.
Gladly.
I have the keys, so it's not like we can't get out.
We're not gonna lock it.
Okay.
I'm not wanted.
But you're down here.
Looking for the
Just
mistress.
hide. Just hide.
The footsteps
Fine.
continue to get closer, and now you can hear clearly that there are 3 sets of footprints.
We're
Oh.
gonna hide.
So yeah, you all jump back into the cell and shut the door.
Bruce gonna be holding the door.
I'm gonna try
pretend
and
to be
blend into
kicking
like,
at
the
it.
background of the cell.
There's not a whole lot to hide in here. It's just an earth rectangular room with a bucket, 2 buckets, an empty bucket, and a bucket of water. Yes.
Do I have the time to make a wall to hide us?
I'm gonna have you
Or
roll
is
a
that
rely
too
on.
loud?
No, you can definitely attempt to do that. You have the ability to do that. Roll a rely on your skills and training. That's a focus roll.
Nine.
That is a success, but you do it imperfectly. So the wall is, I'm gonna say 5 feet tall,
It's enough to hide me, but not.
and
Her.
only like 3 feet wide.
So I panic wall.
It's just right in front of you
Basically.
only,
Yeah.
and it's kind of loud.
Is it dark in the cell though?
It's dark because there's no natural light, but there are like torches and lights down here.
I'm just gonna try and make myself very small in the corner.
Get behind her. Like, just.
Like body blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michi, you're gonna stand in front of Zola.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna. Yeah. That works.
So, just in time for you guys to do this, the lady of the house, along with the 2 goons that you 2 recognize as the goons that stepped into the room, appear in front of the gate. And, well, unfortunately, it looks like General Dao has been delayed. I guess you'll be my guest for an extra night.
I mean, you can always just let us go.
Are you insane? Do you know how much you're worth?
Ooh, how much?
Well, the bounty on your head is a measly 100. But my business opening up and the ships departing from my harbor, I can't put a number on that value.
We were just trying to help.
Yes, and you shall help this town recover its economy.
You know General Dow is just going to burn everything in his path, right? He's not going to open up the harbor just because you give us to him.
General Dow is an honorable man, and I have his word that he will not burn my assets.
What about the people's assets?
The people can burn.
How many?
They'll rebuild. Of course, I will be there to help. And I will look like the hero.
You're going to
Hefty
sacrifice
sum.
all of these people?
Just their homes. They live here now. This is an intricate chess game and way above your head. Perhaps... Yes, I think I will provide you with dinner this evening. I want you healthy when I turn you over to the Fire Nation.
Fattening us up? What are they going to do to us?
Every word that is coming out of her mouth is just making Rue extra angry.
I shall return with your dinner. Please don't make too much of a ruckus. The guests upstairs may hear you. And then...
They learn the truth.
I'll have to have... What's their name? Min and Quinn here rough you up a
And
bit.
Ben. Are these triplets? Min, Quinn, and Ben?
They do kind of look similar.
Oh my god.
They look like they probably could be family.
They all share
They're
one
not
brain
twins,
cell.
for sure. But they do look like they could be family. She turns on her heels, and you hear the footsteps recede as they disappear, and you... Oh! What? What happened? Are you so... And she, like, you can hear this, like, tussle as she's, like, trying to wake up the guard that has been knocked out. And it sounds like she has assumed that he fell asleep on the job and is very angry, and you hear some sounds of, like, smacking and... And then she goes up the steps.
Did her bodyguards follow her?
Her bodyguards are... Yeah, they did turn around and follow her out.
Okay.
The two goons seem to be, like, her personal bodyguard escorts. They seem to kind of be going wherever she's going.
Can I
look
see?
livid.
Is the one guard she was slapping up now?
You can't see that far down the hallway from where you're at. You heard the slapping, the yelling, get back to work and stay awake this time. You can hear mumbling, so you can assume that the guard is conscious at least.
Rue's gonna call out to him. Hey,
What do you want?
my friend is sick.
Oh, it hurts so bad. Oh,
What do you want from me? I'm not a
Oh.
doctor.
well, can we get
Can we get
something?
some
I'm
more-
sure there's something upstairs. Or just water.
Water?
More water.
I'm not giving a water to a waterbender. What do you think,
Please,
I'm
no, it feels
stupid?
like fire.
Go
He's
ahead.
dying!
Yeah, very loudly.
I would like you to roll a plead or a
Can I
trick.
do a
You can take a fatigue. Mark 1 fatigue.
to help?
Yep. And you can give a +1 to that roll.
A pleat or a what?
A plead or a trick, your
Or a
choice.
trick. Okay.
Because either one could be. You could be trying to trick this guard, or you could be trying to plead with the guard for
Okay.
help. So
Your
choice.
So creativity or harmony?
7.
Add +1?
7
8.
is an 8. Yeah. And you said you were doing a plead or a
Yes.
trick. Okay. Plead. They need some evidence. Before they act, the GM tells you what they need. On 10. Oh, okay. I don't know that he needs anything from you. All right, fine. Just be quiet. Give me 5 minutes.
He lets out like a wail.
So he did ask for time. If you were quiet and kind of like you hear the chair kind of scooch out, I'll be back. Keep it down. I don't want to get beat up anymore.
Thank you.
And he goes up the stairs. You can hear the footsteps.
Rue's gonna open the cage. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
This poor guard. I feel he's gonna get beat up again.
That's fine. Let him
What
get
if he
beat
gets
up
even
again.
worse?
He'll be fine.
Okay.
Faye is like walking with her hands and fists, and she's just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of that woman.
Oh,
I
Take a
feel
number.
the same way. Do we go back up the stairs? Do we try to go through that other door?
Maybe we should try the other door.
Okay.
we could send Soot in first. He seems to beat guards up.
I'm gonna look around in this little area. Is there like a tray of like anything that I could carry in case there's somebody in that other room? I could be like, oh hey, the madam asked me to bring this to you, kind of thing, and then just hit them with it.
On the guard table, there seems to be like there's a bowl of like soup and a wooden spoon, along with like an apple that he was eating. It's like already got a bite in it. You seem to have interrupted. This whole scene seems to have interrupted his dinner.
Good.
So yeah,
Okay,
you
that's
can
fine.
grab that and approach that iron door.
Yeah,
And-
this is gonna work just fine. I'll turn the apple so that the bite is facing me. So from the outside, it looks like a shiny new apple.
Okay. You get to the iron door, and as you get there, you see that the door does have a key and lock system. So this door is locked. You do have
Okay.
the key ring still.
I'll unlock it.
So you stick the key in, unlock the door. Who's opening the door? How do you want to approach this?
I guess because I was unlocking it, I'll open the door. Slowly. Peek in.
As you slowly open the door, you see that this particular room is completely made out of metal. There is no earth in here at all.
Shit.
It is a small 10 by 10 room. No windows. The only thing in here is the door and the metal 10 by 10 room. It's 10 by 10 by 10. It's just a 10 by 10 by 10 room cube.
Is there anybody in here?
There is. Sitting in the far corner, ragged up, looks scruffy, long hair, kind of covering the face, very almost kind of emo look. It's long black hair that kind of covers down over the face, long along the ears. You can't even see the ears. You can tell it goes long past the shoulders. Wearing a bandage across his chest, but he's bare chest other than like there's layers of bandage that cross across the right shoulder, down the chest, and across the what is this called? The
Waist?
Yeah, thank you. Across the waist. And it's pretty thick. It covers like the entire pec. But he's bare chested. He has a very raggedy earth toned they're almost like capri pants the way they're kind of ripped all the way up to above his shin. No feet or no sandals.
No feet? Oh no!
No sandals or shoes on his feet. He is currently chained, not to the wall, but like there's iron manacles or metal manacles on his hands, kind of clasped together, and they are chained to the floor. And he's just kind of like slumped down. He doesn't even acknowledge the doors have been opened.
I gonna rush over.
Zola,
Are you okay?
Hearing the sound of a different voice, he looks up and you see his dark, sullen, sunken brown eyes. This man probably looks to be in his early 40s.
Oh my god.
Very scruffy. Very, like, he has been in here probably a long time and seems to kind of been not taken care of. He looks up and your eyes meet. And the look on his face goes from sullen and hopeless to a glimmer in his eye, and a smile appears on his face. Have you come to visit me?
Who are you?
Sorry, I have multiple pages. Hold on. I am Yating, master of this estate.
Who's the woman then?
Well, she was my wife. I think she still is.
I'm gonna unlock him.
Look,
We
you're
have beef with her, so are you
crazy.
okay with
Why?
that?
Obviously. He clanks the chains. I have beef with her too.
I'm unlocking him. This poor man.
You unlock the manacles, and he kind of drops the chains and... Oh, thank you. My arms. Oh, you have no idea how long they've been in the same position. I've started to feel ants crawling along my arms, and then the bugs were gone for so long. Now they're tingly again. I can feel
Does he
it.
have any wounds or anything?
You can't see any visible wounds, but with the bandage marks across his chest, you can probably assume that that's probably there because of woundage. There are some older, dried, like, blood markings on the bandage. They haven't been changed out for a very long time. Like, the blood is dried and dissipated and just kind of stained the
Rue's
bandage.
gonna kneel down and take out his water pouch, and he's going to have the water circling his hands. He's going to perform some healing on this poor man.
Okay. Do you have to roll for that? I don't think you do. That's just something you can do now, right?
That was something he
Basic,
learned. Yeah.
basic healing. So yeah, you're able to do that. You don't have to roll for that. You do that, and the glow kind of emits, and you can see underneath the bandages where the glowing is at. There's a large gash wound that comes from like right here, right below his collarbone, or right below his shoulder bone, whatever that bone is, comes across and kind of like it's very oblong. It kind of looks. It's not like a slash wound or a weapon wound or anything. It looks very like unusual. It's kind of glowing underneath the bandage, and it just kind of begins to heal. And he's like, "Oh, a waterbender and a healer at that."
Eh. I learned a few things. Look, we don't have a lot of time. That guard is coming back. Will you help us?
Help you what?
We need to escape.
Oh, I have been waiting to do such a thing for a very long time. If you're trying to escape, I am with you.
Okay.
He
You know this
attempts
house.
to stand up and immediately falls.
I help him.
He's
Rue's gonna catch him.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, I haven't been standing in a very long time. I seem to have lost the ability to stand. Give me a minute. And you kind of feel the muscles kind of like flexing, and he's got some atrophy going on, and he just kind of stretches a bit. And as he stands up and, oh yes, let us leave this iron box of hell.
Are you an earthbender by chance?
Oh, it's been a very long time, but I think I can still do it.
Okay. Because I think all of her goonies are they look strong, but looks aren't everything.
They're
Yeah.
kind of dumb.
Those Goonies, they're nothing but babies.
Rue's going to like act as a support as they walk, just like to help him regain his footing. And
Kind of, with your help, the four of you kind of leave that box, and as you do, you hear the footsteps coming down the staircase, and standing in your way to the exit is the lady of the house and her two goons. And before we get into anything, we are going to take a quick break. So we'll be right back. Please stay with us. We're going to take a quick bio break. Make sure you refill your waters and coffees. Take your bathroom breaks. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or less. Sorry about that. Little April Fool's joke, a little bit late on late on the go. We are not ending. We are back. So, welcome back to Avatar. We are currently in a hallway of a dungeon/jail underneath the estate of the lady of the town that we're in here. I can't remember the name of the town either. I think it was just Fishing Town or Fishing Village.
Harbor Town.
Harbor Town, yeah.
Harbor Town, because it's a harbor town.
Yep. If there's one thing that the Avatar world and thing did well, it was Capital City, Harbor Town, Fishing Village. The names of the towns are not all that great, but that's all right.
Easy to remember.
They are easier to remember, except for I can't remember them. Thanks for remembering them. Okay, so you have rescued the actual estate owner from his iron cell prison, and he's a bit meek and a bit off, but you are now encountered the lady of the house and her two goons, Quinn and Bin. No, Quinn and Min. Bin is upstairs, unawares of what's going on below. And combat in this system works a little bit differently. There are 3 techniques. There are defend and maneuver, advance and attack, evade and observe. Those are the 3 things. And then underneath those, there are 3 options that you can take: ready, retaliate, and seize a position for defend and maneuver. Advance and attack is strike, pressure, and smash. And evade and observe is test balance, bolster or hinder, or commit. So I have written down what the goon number 1, goon number 2. Goon number 1 is Quinn, and goon number 2 is Min. Not that you know the difference because they look very similar. I am supposed to choose an approach for each NPC or group of NPCs in the exchange. The GM keeps their choices secret, so I've written it down. Step 2 in a combat exchange is each player of a PC in the exchange chooses an approach for their character. If multiple players have PCs in the exchange, they can talk and coordinate. So you guys can definitely talk amongst yourselves about how you want to approach this situation. Their choices can be public, but if the PCs oppose each other, they keep their choices secret and reveal the next step. So you guys can talk amongst yourselves about how you want to approach this situation. You are currently engaged with 3 NPCs, the 2 goons and the lady. The third step, the GM reveals what they chose for each NPC, and PCs opposing each other reveal their previously secret approaches. So if you guys are fighting against each other, you guys would reveal that if it was a secret thing. At this point, I don't think you guys would be doing that, but who knows. Step number 4, all combatants who chose defend and maneuver resolve their approach. So defend and maneuver goes first. All combatants who choose advance and attack then resolve their approach. That's the second. And then all combatants who chose evade and observe resolve their approach. All characters who lost their balance or were taken out now resolve those results. So that's how we approach this situation. I have written down what the NPCs are going to do. You guys can go ahead and discuss what you want to do, and then each of you need to decide whether you want to take a defend and maneuver, advance and attack, or evade and observe.
Okay, well, we need to... I think getting out is our main goal. Not necessarily, like, taking them out.
So I have a feature that is stand and fight. When you provoke an NPC opponent into attacking you, roll with passion. On a hit, they're coming at you specifically. On a 10 plus, you're ready for them. On a miss, they take advantage of your provocation and strike a blow where you least expect it.
Okay. So what did that roll with?
Passion.
Okay. So if you want to roll with passion,
an advance and attack.
Correct. That would be an advance and attack roll. And under advance and attack, you can do a strike, a pressure, or a smash. The strike is the strike a foe in reach, forcing them to mark 2 fatigue, mark a condition, or shift their balance away from center. Their choice. Mark a fatigue to instead choose to hammer them with your blows, forcing them to mark 2 fatigue or strike where they are weak. You can do a pressure, which is impress or intimidate a foe. Choose an approach. Your foe cannot choose to use that approach in the next exchange. So you can intimidate them by pressuring them to not use defend and maneuver, advance and attack, or evade and observe. Or you can smash to destroy or destabilize something in the environment, possibly inflicting or overcoming a fictionally appropriate positive or negative status. That would be your advance and attack options. If you wanted to use that feature and roll with passion.
Right. I think I will use smash.
Okay, so you're going to go advance and attack, smash.
Smash with the stand and fight to kind of get them to come at me.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing?
I also have a move called Use Their Momentum. When you're engaged with a large or powerful foe, mark fatigue to advance an attack with focus instead of passion. If you do, you become prepared and may also choose to use retaliate as if it were an advanced attack technique.
Okay.
Since these goons are larger than me. What were the options for advance and attack again, Joe? They were
There's
smash,
strike, pressure, and smash.
I'll do strike.
Strike a foe would also be considered bending because it doesn't specify how you're striking. It could be a physical strike or it could be a bending strike.
It will be bending.
Okay. Zola, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna wait and observe.
Okay.
To see if their attacks work, I will help Old Man River over here get past the guards and the lady so that we can all escape.
Okay. Evade and observe. You've got 3 things that you can do. You can test the balance.
Okay.
You can bolster or hinder, or you can commit. And what those mean is test your balance, mark 1 fatigue to challenge an engaged foe's balance. Ask what their principle is. They must answer honestly. If you already know their principle, instead shift their balance away from center by questioning or challenging their beliefs or perspectives.
No.
Okay.
But you're helping the guy try to get out.
Bolster or hinder. Aid or impede a nearby character, inflicting an appropriate status. Or commit is recenter yourself amidst the fray, shift your balance toward one of your principles. The next time you live up to that principle, do not mark fatigue. It sounds like you want to bolster or hinder. You want to bolster your friend.
Sees a position.
Yes.
Appropriate status. Okay. Statuses, techniques, there's statuses. Okay. Okay, and then Michi, what are you doing?
I would like to evade and observe. I am going to attempt to hinder the other so that Rue and Shay can get off their moves, and ideally Zola can get Old Man River to safety.
Okay, so now that we've all declared, I reveal that Quinn is on a defend and evade, Min is defend and evade, and the lady of the house, or no, I'm sorry, defend and maneuver. There we go, defend and maneuver for the 2 goons, and then evade and observe is the lady of the house. So the first people that are going to resolve are going to be the... Wow, this is complex. Defend and maneuver. So Min and Quinn. Min is going to ready himself, and he's going to mark a fatigue. Signing or clearing a fictionally appropriate status. Okay. While Quinn, the one on the right is Quinn, and he runs up to seize a position and engage with a foe. So who is the one that's standing in the front of the line? Shay. He comes running up to seize his position, and he is right in front of you at that point. The next ones to resolve are going to be the advance and attacks. So Lance and Theta, you both get to do your strike and smash.
Go ahead, Lance. You seem real excited.
Yeah, that's a perfect 14.
Nice.
Nice. I got an 11.
So describe your attack and who you're attacking with that strike, and then you're doing the environment thing, right?
Yeah.
The smash? Okay, so you two can describe... Oops, microphone bop. You two can describe how you're doing that. You both are successful.
Well, Rue is going to use his water whip. And the one that's in front of Shay, he's just going to hit him dead center in the forehead.
Okay. Yeah, it hits, and it hits hard. It's worse than a flick. This is the best water whip. Your adrenaline pumps, and you get the form just right as you whip that water, and it smacks him back. Makes him take the stunned status, which means he is caught off guard and can't act or respond for a few seconds until he steadies himself.
And now I'm also prepared and can choose retaliate if it were an advanced and attack technique.
Okay. How does your smash work?
I was trying to think of it real quick while he was describing his. Wasn't prepared for it to work. So my smash combined with the stand and fight is going to be. Is there like any kind of shelving units or anything that's on the walls that I can make kind of come down?
There's not really anything other than like maybe the sconces for the torches. You could definitely drop those down. But back behind them in the alcove area, there are shelvings and like bookcases and stuff around there.
I'm going to use my bending to bring that stuff kind of forward, or some of that stuff forward, so that it litters the ground.
Okay.
And my internal brain is thinking it's like a trip hazard.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. You like put all the torches and the sconces and all the stuff you kind of earthbend and pull like the earth that they're attached to out of the wall and then you can control the earth around the objects to kind of like shove them into the thing in front of them.
And not to the guy that's directly in front of me, but to the other one. I already forgot his name.
Min?
Yeah, no, Quinn was the one that was in front of you. Min is still
Quinn?
back
And
there.
Min is so Min.
Min.
Okay, so you're
so
targeting
I'm going
Min.
to stand and fight for Min and provoke them to attack me.
Okay.
Do I need to roll passion again to do that one, or
No, you only do the one roll. If it's a success,
Okay.
you succeed on doing that.
then I am prepared.
Okay. And it says here, possibly inflicting or overcoming a fictionally appropriate positive or negative status. So, you guys don't have any negative statuses, but I am going to give you all the inspired status. So you're all ready to stand for something. Was it clear inspired to shift your balance toward a principle of your choice? So you are all inspired by this fight, and with Shay kind of like littering the ground, you can all move your balance, shift your balance towards a principle of your choice. The next things to resolve are going to be Michi, Zola, you guys are both doing your bolster or hinder. Michi's hindering, Zola, you're bolstering, and you notice that the lady of the house, she's kind of zen. She's kind of focusing in on herself, kind of trying to. It looks like she's kind of centered in and trying to control like this outburst of rage that you can see building up in her. And she is going to be able to shift her principal over. So the two of you can describe how you're bolstering and hindering.
You go first, Zola, or you want me to go?
I don't really understand what is happening.
It is a little bit complicated.
Yeah, so I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'm doing.
You're gonna roll.
Okay.
For evade and observe with creativity or harmony.
Okay.
And on a success, you get to bolster or hinder. In your case, you wanted to bolster that person. If you succeed, if you roll a 7 or higher, you get to do what it is that you're describing that you do. On a failure, you get inflicted a negative status.
Okay.
Possibly shift your.
So I guess I'm bolstering the guy to help him get farther after everybody's done their thing, right?
Okay, so you wanna go last.
Yeah.
Okay. Michi, go ahead and roll.
Okay. I got a 10.
Okay. You succeed, so you get to hinder inflicting an appropriate status on not Min, you're doing Quinn, right? The one that's in front of Shay?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get to a negative status, you get to choose doomed, impaired, trapped, or stunned. Doomed is you're in a grave danger, mark 1 fatigue. So he would mark 1 fatigue every few seconds until he frees himself. Impaired, he's slowed or off balance, mark 1 fatigue. He takes -2 to all physical actions. So he gets a -2 on all his rolls. Trapped, he's completely helpless and must mark a combination of 3 conditions of fatigue to escape.
He's also stunned right now, right?
He is currently stunned.
I think impaired, because what I'd like to do is reach down and scoop up some dirt and just kind of pocket sand him in the face.
Okay, so you're throwing this pocket sand. Are you using anything to amplify that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give it a little extra oomph.
Okay.
Very subtly.
Yeah. You pull up that pocket sand and it doesn't just disperse like it normally would. Very subtly, you control that dirt and that sand, the air currents, to kind of target his face and his eye area, and it just smacks right into his eyes.
I'm so sorry.
And he is impaired.
Impaired. Oh, good.
So he's going to take a -2, and he marks that fatigue.
What does stunned do?
Stunned, he's caught off guard. He can't act or respond for a few seconds until he steadies himself. So he can't prepare himself for anything. He can't. In this next round, he cannot do anything. He's just kind of stuck there. He is also impaired, so if he does anything to recover himself, it's a -2 on his roll. So this is going to be round 2. Everybody gets to pick another action that they can do. Let me write down what these guys are going to go with. Quinn is currently not available. Min. Okay. I have written down what the NPCs are going to do, so you can discuss amongst yourselves after the status of that round what you would like to do next.
I think we need to throw them off their balance.
Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that new firebending move that I learned a couple episodes ago that was like a spread out kind of thing.
Oh, okay, like the wave, the fire wave.
Yeah, the fire wave.
Okay. That will be a strike. So you'll be rolling
Yeah.
that with passion when it's your turn.
Oh God. Okay.
Unless you have a feature that allows you to roll with something other than
I
passion.
have nothing.
Okay.
I can walk this way, but that's about it.
Going to use earthbending to strike the one that I have provoked that I'm prepared for.
Okay. So you're also going to strike?
I'm going to. I haven't marked as evade and observe, but I'm going to use my move slip and slide on the lady of the house to try and throw her off her balance.
Okay. I think we labeled that as a hinder move.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to hinder her.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Asylum. So, I almost wrote down Derek again. You're not even Derek.
HE.
Okay. Michi, what are you doing this round?
Okay, so we have. I think I'm gonna bolster Rue because he's going for the lady of the house.
Okay. Keep in mind that evade and observe goes after advance and attack.
Okay. I'm gonna advance and attack. I'm gonna pressure her.
Okay. The more, I don't even know if we do this more and more how smooth this doesn't seem to be very smooth. This is our first combat encounter using this system, so bear with us here as we figure this out, but I don't even
Everybody
know
hydrate.
if we play this along a lot how smoothly this would go. Let's see here. So it's gonna be min and okay. So in this first round, then the defend and maneuver goes first, and Min is going to use retaliate. Each time a foe inflicts a fatigue, a condition, or shifts your balance, inflict one fatigue on that foe. So he is going to, I guess, prepare himself with, you see him kind of take an earthbending, Shay, you would notice he's taking an earthbending stance, preparing himself, and you see the earth around his leg, or around his feet kind of come up and like enclose his feet to anchor his stance. The next ones to resolve are going to be the advance and attack. So
This boy just anchored himself to the floor so fire can hit him.
he doesn't know what's coming.
Yeah.
This there's 4 people doing the strike action. So DB, Theta, also oh no, there's 3 people because that was from last round. So DB, Theta, go ahead and decide who wants to go first, as the lady also is going to use her strike.
DB, you can go first.
Okay. I'm gonna do fire wave. Oh, it's a +0, so 10.
Yep, that's a succeed. So you get to successfully. This fills the entire hallway. Luckily, you're kind of.
Well, I would have made sure that I stepped up so
Yeah.
that it's not all of my friends in
you
the
don't
way
want
of the
friendly
fire.
fire.
Yeah, no.
you have been trained, unlike Aang in the show, you have been trained in firebending. You know how to use the firebending technique. So you step forward and you just throw out that wave of fire, and it goes forward, striking all three of them in the hallway. Here. They mark their fatigue. This actually knocks her back, and she is also stunned as she's like thrown back. She does not get to go make her strike because she has been stunned. So she was about to make a move, but doesn't. Michi, you are pressuring.
Yeah, so originally he was gonna run up.
Hold on. Doesn't Theta get to do her strike first?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Theta. Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Michi's doing an advance and attack as well, so it doesn't matter to me.
You guys can decide who goes first in the order.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a discussion. There's no, like, this person goes
There's
first,
no
this
turn
person... Yeah,
order,
there's no
like-
turn order or anything in this.
How about
Go
you go
ahead,
first? Because I didn't do super well. So please
Okay.
go ahead.
Then I am going to earthbend the ground beneath his feet and try to thrust him up so that he hits his head on the ceiling. That is my strike.
Okay, yeah, you get to roll with the passion.
And I get the +1
Yes.
for being prepared.
What do you want?
10.
That's claws in my knee. Stop. A 10 is a complete success. So yeah, you stomp your feet with that, and the earth underneath him shoves him up into the wall, and he knocks and falls to the ground, and he is unconscious. You have knocked him out. He is out of combat. He is unable to participate any further. So now, Michi, what would you like to do?
Well, what I'd like to do and what I'm going to do is probably not going to work out very well because I got a 4. Originally the plan was running up with Soot, and we were both like, Michi was gonna run up and like try and scare her.
Okay.
But I think the shifting of the earth, like he wasn't expecting Shay to
Earthbend.
make the ground dance, so it's not very intimidating.
Yeah, and in fact, because of the roll, you are now stunned as you are caught off guard.
Oh, he falls on his butt.
Yeah, the earth shoving the guy up and then having him come down like right in front of you. You're just like,
Little scream.
And that brings us to Lance. Or, I'm sorry. Character names. Rue.
He is going to throw the bucket of water as far as he can, getting like as much drenched as he possibly can, and then he's going to use his move Slip and Slide and turn the ground into ice.
So yeah, you throw that bucket. Did you make your roll, your
Yeah,
creativity or harmony roll?
Yeah, that is a 10.
Perfect. You grab that bucket and you throw it, and as you throw it, you drop the bucket and follow through with a smooth, fluid motion, and it freezes. And it freezes in such a fashion as it's kind of moving along, as in its liquid form, it kind of goes underneath the lady who has been knocked back by the fire attack, and unintendedly, her hands are kind of like, and her legs and her butt are kind of like on the ground, and they're in the water as it's kind of splashing along, and as it freezes, it kind of freezes her to the ground, and she is trapped. She's completely helpless. She must mark a combination of 3 conditions or fatigue to escape. So she is currently trapped. Quinn is knocked out, Min is knocked out, and Quinn was the one up front. Quinn is knocked out, and Min is still stunned, as he is not able to, because he is stunned and impaired. He has not been able to catch his breath yet. So you currently have a clear path out of the estate.
Let's book it.
Shay, can you do one thing?
Yeah.
Can you move the earth under them into the cell?
I can certainly try.
I will help you.
What am I rolling, Joseph?
You are earthbending. That will be a rely on your skills and training. And if you're helping, you can take that fatigue to add a +1.
Yep.
So with the +1, because it's a focus to do skills and training, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the +1 negates my -1 for a total of 9.
Okay, that's good, actually. You do it imperfectly, but you almost perfect it, because a 10 is perfect, so you're pretty close. Your earthbending... How are you doing that?
I'm
Like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, I'm like a conveyor belt. I'm sliding the earth underneath them, and I'm like rolling it, so it just kind of scoots them into the.
It's kind of like a clunky conveyor belt, as it just kind of like moves and then stops and then moves, like as you kind of refocus, like your stance kind of slips just a little bit, and it moves them like halfway down, then kind of hiccups, and then moves them the rest of the way down. And they are slammed up against the wall on the back.
Lock them in there.
I'm gonna lock it.
You run down there and shut the iron door and lock it.
Not to interrupt, DB, you're being like hidden by your character art. Like, lean to the other side.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm just
Or scoot
Swivel.
your camera around if you'd prefer to.
Swivel and hide behind the microphone.
No.
So yeah, you run down there and you shut the iron door and you lock it because you still have the keys. And you run back, and the individual that you have rescued, Ya Ting, starts to kind of slowly go up the stairs as he hobbles. Oh, wait just a minute. And he turns himself around. And then suddenly, and without warning, he kind of straightens himself up and takes an earthbending stance where he's like kind of pounced, like his knees kind of like buckle forward, and he just gets that powerful stance, and he does not look like he did 30 seconds ago. And he reaches up and he grabs the air and he just yanks down, and a big giant rectangular boulder from the ceiling locks down in front of that door. He says, "Ow, that hurt. I'll come back for them in about a week. Serves them right. Let's go."
That's amazing.
Maybe feed them, but not
Nah.
much.
He kind of looks at himself. They didn't feed me, but you're right. 2 wrongs don't make a right.
You have to be better than the haters.
So just to fill you in, quick version, General Dao is coming, and the city has been taken over by firebenders. There are refugees in your house, and we need to leave.
Oh, you have been busy.
Oh, we haven't done that.
We've only been here for a day.
Well, you come at the most opportune time then. Thank you for rescuing me from that cell. As far as leaving, there are animals in the stable. You can take one if they're still there. I've been locked
we
away a
have
long
one.
time. Oh, great. Then you're free to leave. He just kind of like, I don't. What do you want from me?
What are you going to do about General Dao?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Now that I'm out, I have friends in low places. He winks.
I like you.
Have you seen these symbols before? I'm going to show him the Pai Sho, like the Jade Pai Sho tiles and whatnot.
That's
Oh, you're the ones he was telling me about.
Who?
He kind of reaches into his pants and seems to pull it out from his
God.
butt crack
Oh no!
and flips it like a coin towards you.
Oh God, I catch it, but I don't like it.
You have a wooden Paisho tile that looks just like the ones that you are collecting. This particular one is of a jasmine.
What is all this?
No one told you anything, huh?
Not really. Grandma just kind of got arrested.
I mean, we were kind of told about the White Lotus, and we got
Yeah.
robes, so that was cool.
But what's happening? Who told you we were coming?
Your father.
When would you see him last?
Oh, it's been a couple months.
Okay.
Why did she put you in a cage?
Well, she obviously couldn't take me on herself. She had to take away my bending. She tricked me into that cage. You don't want to know how.
No, I
Kinda
really
do.
don't.
No, I don't think we do.
I'm good. Thank you. With the general being delayed a day, do you guys want to rest here for tonight and then leave in the morning? Because it's after curfew and we're going to get snagged by Fire Nation.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
True.
You're more than welcome to stay here. In fact, I could probably clear out one of the bedrooms. No need to sleep with the rest of the refugees.
Oh, thank you.
You are the
That's-
saviors of Harbor Town.
Well,
Right place, right time.
For the savers of you, which is great.
yeah.
So you're the saviors indirectly.
The saviors of the savior. Let's.
I would really appreciate a bed. Yes, thank you.
I'm
Yes.
really tired, guys.
One could be arranged. Follow me. And he kind of hobbles down the hallway. And when he comes out of that thing and all the mercenary guards that were kind of on the patrol and down the stairs, they kind of see him. They don't seem surprised so much as they seem like, oh, he's free now. We work for him instead of the lady. They seem to kind of like accept the transition.
They know who's gonna pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hobbles over to one of the bedrooms and opens up the door, and there's only one bed in this room, and he stomps. The earth kind of molds around and creates this bed, and then he like uses bending moves to kind of shape and shift the earth into a bed. But it's just like the thing he said, I'll have some mattresses pulled up here for you so you don't have to sleep on the stone. I know not everybody is into that. And he looks over at Shay. Do you want a mattress too?
It really doesn't matter. You'll have to show me how you did the precise molding of that. That was very cool.
Of course. Perhaps in the morning before you leave.
Oh yes, that'd be awesome.
Have you eaten?
No.
Oh, well, we definitely have to go down to the dining room. I know how to make the best stew.
That
I like
sounds
stew.
wonderful.
Okay.
And he leads you down to the dining room, and you have a wonderful, relaxing night with him. Did you ever get his name?
Yeah,
He just said he was-
Yeah.
He just said he was the owner.
I
Yeah,
thought you said
Yachting.
his name was Yachting.
Yeah,
Ting,
Ting, you're
yeah.
right.
Just
You're
wanted to
right.
make sure. Okay. So Yachting makes sure that you're comfortable, entertains you, has a couple of the like refugees come over and hang out in the kitchen, and he seems to be genuinely the exact opposite of the individual that you just happened to be talking with earlier. He genuinely wants to help the refugees. You see that there's a lot of like he's very humble. He doesn't really, and the refugees all recognize him. They wonder where he's been. They ask him, where have you been? He doesn't say anything about being trapped. He said, oh, I I had to go out of town on business. And he kind of keeps everything on the down low. He looks at you guys to kind of keep everything hush-hush for now. But I'm back, and the city we'll deal with the Fire Nation. Don't you worry, we'll deal with the Fire Nation. And he seems confident in the ability to deal with that. He feeds you dinner, tucks you in, not like specifically tucks you into bed, but like walks you back up to your bedroom and, tucks you in for the night. And I'll see you in the morning. Try to get some rest. You are safe here.
Can I speak with you for a little bit?
Of course.
Privately?
Well, yeah, of course. He hobbles towards the office.
I'll follow him.
He doesn't shut the door. You're more than welcome to, but he just kind of goes into the room and stands there.
I shut the door. I need answers.
Don't we all, dear? Don't we all? What
But
specifically are you looking for?
What my father wants. Why all of this happened.
Your father wants the same thing now that he wanted 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Balance.
But what does that have to do with me?
Well, dear, we are getting up there in age. He kind of looks at himself. We're not going to be able to fight this war forever. It's time to pass the torch.
But why didn't he say anything before?
Dearie, you know what the consequences are for discussing balance and avatars and things like that in the Fire Nation, and he is a commanding general. Do you really think it wise for him to display such treason out in the open?
No, but it just feels very sudden.
Things were advanced much quicker than quicker. Yes,
Quicker.
That's canon.
That's a word now.
Much quicker than we anticipated originally. The Order, we operate in long-term moves.
Long-term, like
Strategic
until one
planning.
of you die?
Well, we don't seek to die, but it happens. We all do. Eventually. Hopefully in our sleep when we're old.
Do you know where he went?
Your father had many plans and many places to go. But last I heard, he was heading north. He was seeking allies.
Can you tell me one of his plans? Because Grandma got arrested, and then I went to see her, and she shoved a pie show tile in my hand and went, "Have fun," basically.
Oh, she has you collecting pie show tiles?
I guess so. They all are can be opened.
They all contain secret parchments, yes, but they don't really mean anything, dear.
What the fuck?
I mean, they are symbols.
Cool.
They are symbols of our secret order, and they will get you in places. Perhaps that's why she has you collecting them.
I don't know.
We are an order of cryptic and secretive arts. I'm not supposed to tell you these things, but you did save me from my own wife, so I feel like I owe you some answers.
Thank you. I don't know how it changed so quickly.
Life changes quickly. All we can do is keep up with it, dear.
Well, it's difficult.
Yes, it
If you
can
see
be.
If you see my father, will you tell him I'm looking for him?
Of course.
Thank you. I need to go to bed.
Oh, yes, don't let me keep you up, dear.
Oh, she walks out and goes back to the room.
Okay. And you're all in the room together.
Faye looks mildly excited to learn something new the next day. But she's also really tired.
Michi is very tired as yawns.
Yes.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Rue looks a little upset.
What's going on, Rue?
Nothing. Just
Your face says otherwise.
your face says otherwise.
Okay.
Nice.
Good comeback. Very witty.
It's just I tried to talk it out.
Okay.
I tried to be diplomatic about this, and it ended up getting me and Michi arrested.
Oh,
And it's just, I hoped maybe being out away from home, I'd learn a few things, because at home, I kind of sucked at it too.
I'm sure you guys did great. It's the fact that circumstances and what she thought she could get from you in that time, you trying to talk things out doesn't always work when somebody has an alternative motive.
You can't win them all. I mean, as somebody who talks a lot, it doesn't sometimes go through. I mean, it takes a little extra push.
I bet you did great.
Don't
Yeah,
beat
well,
yourself up. That's our job.
It's true.
you can try. That's the one thing I am good at.
You all settle in, and it takes a minute, but you succumb to the sleep. That's a vampire thing, it's fine, we're not doing that. But you do fall asleep, and you get a wonderful night's rest. And we are going to end this session as you are all dreaming away about various things. We're going to do our growth questions on stream this time, because I
Yay!
don't forget about this. Because we're supposed to do that. So we have some growth questions. I'm going to ask these at the end of each session. Each player answers the following questions. Did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and mark yes. Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Very much so.
Look at us.
Did you guide a companion towards balance or end the session at your center? We haven't really done a whole lot with the balance yet.
So should we ignore that one for now?
Yeah, I'm not going to really focus on the balance yet until I figure out how to... I think some of these social situations will start to
Shift balance.
shift balances and stuff, but I have to... This is a very complex system, a lot more than I thought, so... feedback on the combat.
It was weird.
I think it was weird, but I think once we get used to it, we'll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was...
Bound to be clunky.
Yeah,
So
it felt clunky. I think, like you said, once we get used to what each thing means,
yeah.
translating what we want to do into the mechanics, it'll flow a lot better.
So
Yeah.
if we answered yes to 2, do we mark 2 or just 1?
Each player also answers their playbook's unique personal growth questions. So you each have unique growth questions. For each yes, mark a growth. When you have
Oh, okay.
marked 4 growth, you take a growth advancement.
So we got 3 if we answered our question, or just...
Yeah, you got 2, and then if you get to
Yeah.
answer your playbook's question, you get 3.
Did you learn something meaningful or important about your lineage, its members, or its effects on the world and others? No, because I knew my father was a part of this secret organization, so I get to mark 2.
Okay.
Which I get to...
towards your goal against your adversary. Not yet, but I will next session.
In this session, your adversary was the lady of the house, and you did...
Okay. Yeah. It's just
I had-
the adversary thing is complicated to me too.
I think we defined your adversary as your current adversary, not like necessarily because your adversary may never show up.
Right.
So we've defined your adversary as the current adversary of the group. Michi, what was your playbook's question?
Oh, did you improve the lives of a community of average citizens or help an ordinary person with their problems? So much.
Yes, you did. And Rue?
Did you accomplish a feat worthy of your burden and tradition? And one of the three that I had chosen was overthrowing tyrants.
Then yes, you did. Congratulations, everyone. I appreciate your patience with the first combat. I think the more we practice that, the more I read into this and kind of figure out the fluidity of that, I think it'll flow a lot better. I'm getting used to the difference in this. I kind of like... There's a lot going on with the mechanics behind the game, because not only do you have your basic moves, your combat exchanges, you have balance, you have principles. There's a lot going on with the NPCs, but that stays true to the IP, the intellectual property of Avatar, because a lot of the focus in Avatar is about personal growth and personal development and the characters and their experience in the world. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you all are enjoying it too. Join the Discord. We've got all kinds of awesome things going on. Our calendar is now included in the Discord in the events section, so you can see when the streams are happening and join us for those. You also have behind the scenes comments and discussions about what's going on, theories, that kind of stuff, fan art, all that kind of stuff's done in the Discord. Follow us on all the socials, the Nerd Asylum, on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Am I missing anything? Socials? Okay. And then, yeah, the Discord. And then we have a Kickstarter going for a TTRPG-inspired fantasy visual novel dating simulator. So check that out. The link is in the chat as well. You can click on the demo/prologue. That is free to play on itch, so you can just download that and play through that. Give us some feedback and some comments on that, as well as backing the Kickstarter gives you access to the beta as the game develops, as well as upon release a full copy of the game. You can also put yourself in the game and become a romanceable NPC if you would like. There are other benefits as well through the different tiers of the guild hall. So check that out at Kickstarter. We've got 19 days left on that, so check that out. Tell all your friends about it. Even if you can't back, a share is helping a mile. So please make sure you tweet, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok it, all that stuff. Join us Tuesday, yes, that's the next one, for Anthropocene, our cyberpunk adventure based in Bay City in the Altered Carbon setting. Join us for that as Annie and the Cluster Ducks figure out the murder mystery in the cyberpunk theme. And then Thursday is Homeward, and Friday is the next episode of Spirit. So check all that out. Check out thenerdasylum.com. And
Good.
Drink water.
yeah, drink water, stay hydrated, stay healthy. Until next time, friends, stay nerdy. Bye.
Bye.